Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you about the rod run in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. There are two of them, one in the spring in April, and there's a fall rod run which is in September. So there's two, spring and fall. I'm going to tell you about some things that you might want to bring along with you if you have never been before. Mrs. PIB and I have been for years and years going to these things, to the point that we really don't go every time anymore. But it's a lot of fun, and I'm going to tell you some things that you might not be aware of that we consider to be bad, but there are a lot of good things too, and we have a lot of fun. I just want you to be aware of what's going on. First of all, you'll want to find you a motel room. Don't go on some of the comments, where they have reviews of the motels. We don't really trust them a whole lot. So if you have a friend that has been to the rod run before, you might want to call them and say, hey, where do y'all stay at? Where's a good place to stay? Or you can even call the Pigeon Forge, what do you call that?
Chamber of Commerce?
Chamber of Commerce, yes. Chamber of Commerce. Reason I'm saying that is there is a prominent motel in Pigeon Forge that my wife and I, we know where it's at, but we've never stayed there. But a lot of my friends have, and they have this. Show them. Bed bugs. Bed bugs. Now that's something you don't want to bring home. The people that had went to the motel.
Hold that.
The people that had went to the motel, they had already paid, and they would not give them a refund, even though they showed them they had bed bugs. So they went in and took pictures of the bed bugs that were in the bed, but they didn't get a refund.
And on the walls.
And on the walls, yes. So I'm not going to mention the name, but just be aware of that. And let me say this, if you're, like my wife and I was talking about earlier, if you're a retiree and have never been to the rod run before, but you're just going to Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg to see the mountains and stuff, you probably don't want to go during the spring and fall rod run. And let me say this before I forget it. The fall rod run, the week before the fall rod run in Pigeon Forge, there is another type rod run called Shades of the Past. It's a week before the rod run. So in the fall, you're talking about at least 2 weeks of everybody being there with cars and trucks, showing them off and having them for sale. You're going to see all kinds of stuff. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. We enjoy going, but we just don't go that much anymore. I've got a bunch of notes here that I'm going to read from, so if you see my eyes going down, I'm looking. You want to bring some folding chairs, lawn chairs, folding chairs. You might want to bring you some water, bottled water, and some snacks. Now, the reason I'm saying that is there are so many people. There are thousands of people in Pigeon Forge at those times, and it's hard to get in, like for supper, stuff like that. There's backed up lines, and you might have to wait several hours to eat supper. So we always just bring stuff. Mrs. PIB and I do like to make a peanut butter and jelly, a little honey bun, or we bring bottled water. We don't drink, speaking for ourselves, we don't drink Cokes or anything, so we just drink bottled water, stuff like that, something to get you by. And you might have to change your eating times just a little bit as well. Like some of the motels we've stayed at, they have continental breakfast, which you might want to check because they have all this COVID stuff, if they're even doing that still. But if they are, you want to get up early in the morning before everybody gets up in the motel with their children and everything, and get down there and get what you're going to eat. If you get tired during the day, you can always go take a nap.
But we don't do that.
But no, we don't do that. Anyway, we do get up early to go eat breakfast. It's hard to find a seat. The breakfast is normally really good at the places that we stay at. So we get up and eat, and then normally we eat enough for breakfast that we don't eat till maybe middle or late afternoon, and that's our supper. So, and it's good to lose weight too, because you're walking around so much.
Or riding your bicycle.
Or riding your bicycle, yeah. What else was I going to tell you? Oh, speaking of that, when you say like it's your first day there, you get out, you've had your breakfast, you start walking around and you start looking at all the cars and trucks that are for sale. They're everywhere. So you want to make sure that you have some good shoes on, some comfortable shoes. Or if you're like us and we drove a truck up there, pickup truck, we try to bring our bicycles. That's the only place that we have found, Mrs. PIB and I have found it, it's pretty much flat, so you can pedal a little bit on your bicycle and you can coast a long way.
And you never get winded.
Yeah, you don't get winded. And you can, I mean, in about an hour and a half or 2 hours, unless you just stop and look at every vehicle, you can see the ones, that are in Pigeon Forge. The bicycle is the way to go. Otherwise, if you have bad feet, bad knees, or don't like walking, you're going to have trouble looking at all the vehicles. Okay, parking. When you go to Pigeon Forge, if you have an old car or an old truck, you want to park in a spot that you're not going to get towed away. Pigeon Forge has rollbacks everywhere. Everywhere. They're either hauling cars away or they're going to pick them up. They're everywhere. Also, there is Pigeon Forge police. They are everywhere. They are walking. They are on bicycles. They are on motorcycles. They are in their cars. They're everywhere. Every policeman, I think, in 5 counties are over there. I just made that part up. Every
state troopers.
Yeah, they're state troopers. That's what I'm getting at. There's a lot of police there, and they don't put up with too much shenanigans. So if you're drinking alcoholic beverages or you're just raising cane for some reason, you might not be standing there raising cane for long because you will be visiting their local established jail. So what else? My wife's fixing to show you, or I will. This is really important, and I learned this throughout the years. There are power lines right there. If the street is facing you, if your vehicle is parked this way toward the street, and there's parking, that's considered city property. You can park there as you can park there as long as you want to. But if you're on the other side of the power line where the businesses are, drugstores, fast food restaurants, stuff like that.
Motels.
Yeah, motel. You can park at the motel.
If you have a placard.
Yeah, you got to have a placard. That's right. You got to have a placard. Anyway, you will be towed away, and they have security people there during those times that will that watch. Say like you go to, for example, Walgreens. You're going to go in there and get some aspirin or something. A lot of times those businesses will have a security guard there, and if you're not going into that drugstore or fast food restaurant or whatever you're going to, you can expect a rollback there, and when you come back, your vehicle will more than likely be gone. Just so you know. I told them about the power lines. Anyway, park on when you see the power lines. What's that? Oh, when you see this one. Mm-hmm. When you see the power lines, make sure you get a parking spot if you're wanting to walk around that is toward the street, from the power lines to the street. That's city property. From the power lines back,
it's private property.
It's private property, and you will be towed. We ran into that before with a person that happened to come up. Yeah, a person come up when my son went with us one time. One of his friends came and he parked in a spot he wasn't supposed to be parking in, and I told him to move his truck several times. He didn't. It got picked up and it was gone. And he didn't have
Towed.
Yeah, towed on a rollback. He didn't have money to get it out, so that was money out of my pocket so he could get his truck out. So, with that being said, make sure, and let me tell you this, the rod runs and the shades of the past and all that stuff, if you have plans of going, the earlier you can get there, the better off you're going to be.
Earlier in the week.
Yeah, like if the rod run starts on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that's what they're advertising. If you can get there on Sunday or Monday, you're going to be doing great because you can get a parking spot. We found ourselves going every day a little bit earlier and a little bit earlier just to get a decent spot.
Every year.
Every year. Yeah, every year, I'm sorry. So, like next year we wound up going on Wednesdays and then Tuesdays and then Mondays. And I was using up all my vacation days when I was working just so I could get a parking spot. When you get a parking spot, do not move your vehicle. Keep it there because somebody will get your parking spot. I've seen it happen.
They're hard to come by.
Yeah, they're hard to come by. Now, people will take their folding chairs like I told you might want to bring, and they'll shove them into they'll move the vehicle out. They'll shove a couple of folding chairs there to hold their parking spot. That creates a lot of problems because you don't ever want to move somebody's folding chair because there's going to be a fight. There's going to be a big fight. Hooping and hollering, and sometimes it gets physical over a parking spot. And what's funny is by Sunday afternoon or Monday, there's nobody in the parking spots. But people are very serious and passionate about their cars and trucks, and they've waited 6 months or a year to show up, and they come from all over the United States to Pigeon Forge to the Rod Run, and they are serious about selling their car or truck or wanting to trade for something else, whatever.
Or just showing it off.
Yeah, or just showing it off, but 90% of them are for sale. See, what else is I going to tell you that's important? Oh, yeah. Always dress for all 4 seasons of the year. In Pigeon Forge, up in the mountains, it might be 80 degrees one day, and the next day it's 42.
Most of the time, the mornings are chilly.
Yeah, so bring a jacket, bring some long pants, and, like I said, of course, some comfortable shoes. Bring you a jacket. Wear your hat. If you're like me and you don't have no hair, when the sun's out, you don't realize it walking around or on your bicycle, you will get burnt. And when your shoulders and arms are burnt and stuff, you're going to be in misery. So bring some sunscreen, wear your hat, take breaks in the shade, drink a lot of water because it's a big place when you're walking or riding your bicycle. You might want to bring, if you have children and you don't have a push buggy, stroller, you might want to bring a little pull wagon if you have a child that's old enough to set up and, hang onto the sides of the wagon and just be pulled along the side.
We've sold wagons up there before.
I used to take my little pull wagons with me. I used to sell steering wheels up there. I'd make pretty good money on steering wheels, before airbags came out. I used to go to the junkyard and grab lots of steering wheels, clean them up, take them up to the Rod Run and sell them out of the back of my truck, or, I'd walk around with my little pull wagon with steering wheels, and I'd sell them. And we done pretty good at it, enough to pay for our trip a lot of times. So anyway, I've had people buy my pull wagons because the father, I've been down this road, the father would be carrying a kid in their arm and his arm would be so give out. I had this one guy just begged me to sell my pull wagon, and it was my last pull wagon. So I wound up selling it to him. And he was so grateful. He just put the kid in the wagon, the kid held on. They just went on about their way and they had a good time. The other thing is, if you are looking at somebody's car or truck, that's for sale or just somebody's brought it up there for you to look at, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't open up the doors. Don't do nothing. Because a lot of times the car will be sitting here and there'll be a lot of people in folding chairs. you don't know who the owner is, for one thing, and you might really get chewed out by somebody that thinks, you know, you're going to scratch their $15,000 paint job or something. I've seen that happen. Speaking of that, there are some bad things that do happen in Pigeon Forge occasionally. 99% of the people up there are car and truck people, and they're good people. They're my kind of people. They're Mrs. PIB's kind of people. But you do get that 1% that will just do things that... Meanness. That's a good word, meanness. Okay, there's a place in Pigeon Forge. There's a group of Camaros. There'll be like 10, 12, 15 Camaros, 67 through 69. They're all buddies. They all park there at the same spot every year. There was somebody that went through there. I don't know why you would do this, but they got a knife or a nail file or a screwdriver,
Something sharp.
Something sharp. And they went down each side walking, you know, just went down and just scratched the paint on every one of those vehicles. Why you would do that, I don't know. If you don't like somebody, you know, there's no need in scratching the car and damaging your vehicle. Other thing is, these two keys right here fit our Scion Xbox. I always carry 2 sets of keys with me. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I had a friend of mine that bought a 55 Chevy car up there a few years ago. And he bought it from an individual up there and drove it to his motel room, and it was all cammed up. I mean, it's a nice 55 Chevy car. Real nice car. He went into the room and he heard the car start up. And the owner, the guy that owned the car before my friend bought it, had a spare set of keys, and he was going to steal the car back. So, and take the guy's money too. So, I mean, if you have an old car or an old truck, you might want to figure out a way, you know, disconnect the battery, you know, take the distributor wire off, something to keep it from starting. And try to park in a spot like in between motels or whatever that maybe, you know, someplace where a rollback or something can't get to it. This guy, I'm sure, was going to steal his own car back, probably paint it, take the motor out and all that stuff, put a different VIN on it, and resell it again. I mean, I don't know, but that does happen. People get their cars and trucks stolen. They put them in enclosed trailers, and they're gone. I mean, you don't never know. So always try to, in my opinion, make your vehicle where it can't start or it's hard to get to. Because a lot of people walk around and they're trying to look for vehicles that maybe they can sell easily. So what was you going to say?
We have never felt unsafe or threatened going up there. I mean,
no, I've never felt, but I mean, we're the kind of people, you know, we say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. I don't bother anybody's stuff. You've seen, if you've watched my videos, you know, I don't open up a door on anybody's vehicle I'm filming for YouTube unless I've got permission. Also, my wife has wrote down here to the motels, the prices drastically shoot up. You know, what you might pay $40, $50, $60 for one night, like Monday through Wednesday. But like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, you're going to pay like $200, about $200 a night.
120. I mean,
it's more than that.
It goes up, yeah.
It goes way up. Believe me, it's like we used to spend like $700 or $800 just for a motel for 3 nights. It's like $200 a night. Anyway, that was a long time ago. What else was I going to tell you? Oh, if you do have an old car or an old truck, there's always people sitting around in those folding chairs I was telling you about. Try to make friends with the people that are around you that have old cars and old trucks, and tell them to keep an eye on your vehicle, and tell them that you're not, you know, if somebody comes along looking at it and stuff like that and tries to drive off in it, they know what you look like, and that, you know, they might can call the police for you or walk up to the individual.
We give our cell number to people,
yeah,
just to
that's
have
a good
keep
idea.
An eye.
So That's always good too, to make friends and offer to watch their vehicle too. Like if they want to go eat supper somewhere, say, well, I'm going to be sitting here. I'll sit here till y'all get back, and I'll keep an eye on your vehicle. I've seen people get in other people's vehicles before. The whole family just pile in, kids and all. Every vehicle down through there. The first time I seen it, I thought, well, I didn't know the individual. It was a Mustang, and I didn't know the individual, but a whole family just piled into that car, kids and all, jumping up and down inside the car and all that kind of stuff. And they, come to find out he hadn't sold the car. Those people, if they liked your car or truck, they just all pile in.
We've seen kids standing on running boards before.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Take control of your kids. If you're bringing your kids, always hold their hand, because people don't take kindly. If they've spent thousands and thousands of dollars, like my buddy did, like on a 55 Chevy car. I don't want somebody, the whole, family clan getting in there and messing it all up, or sitting on the fenders, or whatever. So I'll keep your hands to yourself. Let's see. Oh, yes, when you're walking or riding a bike, if you're walking, before you step out, there's a lot of cars in the parking lots. The parking lots are big. Before you step out into the parking lot, look both ways. Because, yeah, before you step out into the parking lot, because you can get run over by a moped, which doesn't make any racket, those little electric scooters, golf carts, bicycles, and people that are driving their cars through the parking lot. They're not looking for people. They're looking at the cars in the parking lot. I can be guilty of that myself. Hey, look at that 55 or whatever. Make sure you are aware of your surroundings, because you can get hurt up there real easy. Also, this is little trivia stuff. When we're riding our bikes, I have one of them little horns and honk horns and all that stuff.
And a little dingy
horn. But you can't hardly hear it. There's so much racket between the fire trucks and the rollbacks and the ambulances and all that stuff riding around up through there all the time. I just wind up singing as loud as I can, and people will turn around and look at me, but I've achieved my goal. They know I'm there on a bicycle, and they get out of the way. Now, I can sing Hound Dog by Elvis or some more. Okay. TMI. Okay. I sing a lot of good songs. But I sing them as loud as I can. So that way people know I'm there. I don't want to hit anybody. There's a purpose for it. Let's see. Toezones, I've mentioned that. Oh, Sevier County, my wife wrote down, has a mask mandate until April 15th.
Of course, that could change to further in the year, which we don't know.
That's right. Let's see, what else have I wrote here? I'm trying to wrap this up as quick as I can. If you're thinking about buying a car or selling a car or something like that, and you have a bank wherever you live, you might want to call Pigeon Forge and see if there's a bank, or call your bank and see if they have a branch there that you can say, like, there's people up there, you can't go on looks. People have lots of money in their pockets. If we ever sell something up there, we try to take our money to the bank, because I would be sick if I lost my money in Pigeon Forge somewhere, digging in my pocket or whatever. Things can happen. So you might want to check and see if there's a bank there. Let's see, I said don't mention the thing. Oh, yes. If you're going to Pigeon Forge, you might not want to go to Gatlinburg, because it might be a 20 or 30-minute trip to Gatlinburg any other day will add up to about 4, 5, 6 hour trip, sometimes 7. I've had, that's true. You laugh now, but I won't mention their name. But I'm talking about traffic. It is bumper to bumper to bumper to bumper up through there, and it turns into 2-lane road, and it's just hard to get around. Gatlinburg, it's just it's hard to get around. Which, if you'll quit laughing, I can talk. Go ahead and get it out of your system.
Okay,
Laugh, laugh,
go.
laugh. Okay. Anyway, don't go to Gatlinburg unless you have a full tank of gas and you're just wanting to sit there in the car and talk to your friends or spouse, whatever. We don't go to Gatlinburg.
During the rod run.
During the rod run, yeah. Let's see, what else was I going to say? I'm trying to wrap this up. I know I've talked a lot. I mentioned that Shades of the Past is a week before the rod run in the fall, so they actually have 2 weeks there. A lot of people get there and they stay the entire 2 weeks in Pigeon Forge for the Shades of the Past and the rod run. Now the rod run has a show, and I think Shades of the Past does too, an actual show. But I'm telling you, when you get there, unless you're just wanting to go buy something, you know, like carpet or something for your truck or car, there's enough cars out there on the road that you're not going to be bored. And if you get your folding chair, oh yeah, this is another thing. The sidewalk in Pigeon Forge, a lot of people get their folding chairs and they set them up in the grass right beside the sidewalk. I mean, they're just lined up. Early in the mornings, a lot of times, the Pigeon Forge police will just get a truck and they'll pick up all the lawn chairs and throw them in the dump truck, scrap truck, whatever. They'll just throw them all away. You'll come out the next day and your folding chairs will be gone. I've seen them do it. So at the end of the day, get your folding chairs and take them back to your room. Don't leave anything valuable in your vehicles, of course, at night. You know, put it in your room. All my steering wheels I used to sell at the rod run, I put them back in my room every night. I put my bicycles in. People steal bicycles. You know, it's good to have a lock and chain. You know, if you do leave it outside, hook it to a sign with a lot of lights there. We've done that before, but our friends have had their bicycles stolen. I mean,
but then again, we've had friends that don't ever lock their bikes and they can sit there forever and nobody.
Yeah, I mean, it's like rolling
them.
the dice. Do you want your bicycle in the morning? You're going to take a chance, or would you rather just take it to your room? It might be kind of crowded in your room, but you still got your bicycle. So I'd rather have a bicycle is the only way to go. If I can recommend anything, it's the bicycle. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Anyway, check for motel pricing. Check if your friends have been before, you know somebody that's been, ask and see where they stay. Are they clean? You know, stuff like that. And you know, don't touch anything. Act like with vehicles, act like they have COVID, for example. Just stay back. Don't touch nothing. You don't want to be accused of anything. Some of these people are really passionate about their vehicles, so don't do anything to make somebody upset with you, because you're not going to have a good time there. Park in a good spot and don't act stupid, which I do. I act stupid, but I'm not drinking alcohol either, so I can turn off stupid anytime, can't
I? Yeah.
You hesitated. Anyway, appreciate y'all watching this. I hope this was helpful to you. I didn't mean to make the video so long, but there's a lot that we have learned throughout the years of going, seen a lot of things while we've been up there too. So just be aware of your surroundings, act respectful to everybody and their vehicles. And
it's a fun place to go.
Oh, it's a fun place. You know, I love to go. When I'm there, I love it. It's just getting prepared to get up there is what gets me all riled up, you know. But once I get there and I know I've got a good parking spot, I know I'm legally parked, I know I have a room that is clean, and you know, Mrs. PIB and I, normally we all go in a gang of people, or we used to, and you know, we'd all have a good time, eat supper together, make sandwiches together, and anyway, if you do go, hope you have a great time, and stay safe. Just act respectful. Appreciate you watching. Don't forget, I have a second YouTube channel called Chevy Trucks, and please like and subscribe to both. I have Instagram, all one word, Primer is Best, and Facebook, Primer is Best.
Did you tell what months they were?
Oh,
April.
I think I said the spring rod run is in April. You'll have to call Pigeon Forge because the dates vary every year, you know, but it's normally the second week in April, second weekend, yeah, in September. First week in September is Shades of the Past. The second week is the rod run. They're both together, so there's a lot a lot of good times to be had if you'll, act respectful and act like somebody. Y'all have a great day. God bless y'all. Catch you in the next one. See you later.